Okay, so for this, we're going to assume the blue X is our offense, the green lines are defense, and the red circle is the disc. So first, we're going to start off with some basic offense. So as Nick mentioned yesterday in practice, we run a horizontal stack most of the time. So that means that we have 4 of our cutters lined up horizontally across the field with our 3 handlers, a little bit offset, but also horizontally down the field. So we have our 2 inside cutters, and then we have 2 wings or rails, depending on what you want to call them. So if the disc is in the center of the field, which the goal is to always bring the disc back to the center of field because that gives us the most opportunity. Instead of being cramped on either sideline, when most likely the defenders will force the sideline just like we do when the disc is on the sideline. So if the disc is in the center field, our 2 cutters here are going to be communicating on which one is going to cut first and which one's going to cut second. Usually this is done beforehand, or if not, they'll do it making eye contact. So for instance, let's see, this cutter, he decides he's going to cut second and let this cutter cut first. That gives him a lot of open space to hopefully to run to, and he thinks he can beat this guy. So what our guy's going to do, he's going to fake in and then go out. And then while he's doing that, simultaneously, this guy's going to fake out and go in. And hopefully that works as if he's wide open, his defender's still trailing, this guy's cleared out, so his defender's not going to be able to make a play. And the disc is able to be moved forward to here, and this guy catches the disc. So what happens then is that we'll have, if the disc progression is open, this guy, look forward to see if by chance this man is still open and has a wide open throw, or if he's coming back and wide open throw, or potentially he might have been going off and following up, and then once he saw he was about to catch the disc, he could have been cutting in to receive an open throw there. But if none of that is there, what we want to do is we want our handlers to move up, our cutters all to continue to move up, and have a continuation. And so if this guy doesn't have an immediate open throw, he's going to look pretty much, he'll look upfield for a few seconds, there's not an open throw, he'll turn around and hopefully his handler will be there to receive what we like to call a dump. And then he will now have the disc, and then it continues like normal. Everyone is back in their normal positions, and we just continue down the field like so. And then it all restarts again from where originally it started. The thing to think about with the dump in this situation, you shouldn't be afraid of throwing the disc backwards, because what throwing the disc backwards does, instead of this, say, cutter, who may not be as comfortable with throwing as some other people, has the disc as so, and then he has a couple cutters upfield. Of course, he was a cutter, so there might be one less upfield than usual, but their guys are playing really hard defense, and he really doesn't have a throw. And if our handlers also aren't following, he won't really have a throw back there because they will be heavily guarded as well. But the hope is, with this dump, is that our handler is able to do something, whether it's cut here, whether it's do a strike cut, which would be upfield, or whether it's just a simple go across, and hopefully our guy sees him and just gives him a simple dump throw, which will now give this cutter time to get back into his position and also give these handlers a chance to get a position. But it also restarts the stall count. So we won't be forced into throwing a bad throw if we just look for those simple, easy dumps. If you're in this position, it's stall 4, stall 5, and you're not very comfortable with your throws and you don't feel like you have a good throw upfield, what you can do is just make eye contact with one of the handlers. So let's say this handler sees that this guy's at stall 4, stall 5, is starting to worry a bit. He should just make eye contact with this handler, and that handler will make a cut. He'll either do this or do that, but either way, this guy can trust that he knows that he is getting the disc. So as this cutter, all you need to do is wait for him to make his cut and then put it into space. And what that means is that in these situations where it's tight quarters, and the handler's defender might be pretty on him, but all this guy needs is one step ahead of his guy. So he might make a cut, and he might only be, like I said, one step ahead. But the chances, if you float the disc to space, even to here, the handler can keep running and just get into space instead of trying to throw it directly to him. Because if we throw it directly to him, this guy right here, throw it to here, the guy in green could make a play on it, block it, and thus turning us over onto defense. And offense doesn't like to play defense, so that's not good.